Yo! Welcome back. I didn't mean that, Kuda. I apologize. This is not your fault. Females. But, finally, we are getting to the car and that's been sitting in the garage that you guys have seen for most of the Monte Carlo videos, actually. But, now, before you say anything, look past the wiring and look at this. This was brought to me by a customer who has never done anything mechanically car related before. And he did this. He did his swap by himself, watching my videos. And it looks good to me. I don't know. I mean, he did the wiring just to kind of test fire it and see what's going on, which you guys have seen me do, where I don't make it all pretty at first. I just hook it up and, make sure what needs to work works. But there's nothing, he did frame mounts, motor mounts, oil pan, transmission cross member. You got looks like, I believe it is we have adapters. These are 243 heads. I assume this is an LS3 intake, which, judging by this sensor right here, I'm pretty sure it is an LS3 intake, which is rectangle port going to cathedral port heads. So it looks like he has the ICT brackets to make the rectangular port intake work on the cathedral port heads. This setup right here is expensive. This is a Holley mid-mount kit. I think it's like $2,500 just for this setup alone. And it looks really good. He did AN power steering line. And the only thing we're definitely going to have to change is the spark plug wires. These aren't going to work. We'll just need some 90 degree or 45 degree plug wires, which is no biggie. We're going to have to do our PCV. Run our PCV. It's blocked off back here, but run this PCV all the way to this tube right here. He's already got this one running to that valve cover. And this is the last video before this one is talking about this why did I forget the name? Lingenfelter box to convert a Gen 4. Oh, I didn't even say that at the beginning. Sorry. That's a Gen 4 engine on a Gen 3 computer, or it's going to be run by a Gen 3 computer. If you're about to ask me questions about that, literally just go to the video right before this one. I explained it all with this Lingenfelter box and how we're going to make this Gen 4 engine run on a Gen 3 ECU. So all I'm going to do at the moment, I'm not worried about the spark plug wires because we're going to change them. So they actually won't even be on there long. This probably won't run long enough to even burn those, so it's not going to matter. All I'm doing to this vehicle, so he brought it to me. I'm cleaning up the wiring, getting it running. He wants me, I need to install an oil pressure sensor gauge. We're just going to go with a mechanical one. I'm going to do a throttle cable because the factory one's not going to work, obviously. Put in a drive shaft. Well, that's the original drive shaft out of the car. It should work as long as the transmission was put back in the same spot, but I could be wrong, as this was most likely a 3-speed, not a 4-speed, so we'll just see how that goes. Might be able to make it work. What else? Hook up the factory shifter, which should be fairly easy, but I say that now, and it probably won't be. What else? I think I'm going to hook up the digital gauges on the cheap tablet that I run for the CUDA. I think that's it. I could be wrong. But yeah. Anyways, the main focus is getting this engine running. So I'm not sure if I'll record like doing the drive shaft or the shift linkage, and all the other, just because it's more so just knick-knack stuff that I don't think is really important for. Damn, that's a long-ass radiator hose. God damn. It's going to take 2 to 3 business days for that coolant to cool. Get it? No, because that didn't make any sense. But yeah, so let's just start. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm not going to do anything to this wiring, because he had it set up to where when he has everything powered up, basically is what I'm saying. It just won't fire off, and it won't fire off because you got a Gen 4 58 tooth reluctor wheel trying to be read by a 24 tooth reluctor wheel ECU, meaning that the Gen 3 ECU is set up to read 24 teeth, not 58 teeth. So this box is going to change that. So I'm just going to kind of just rig this up and make sure the engine fires off. But I'm going to have to read the instructions first. So let me get to that. I'm probably going to have to... I have to get to the crank sensor, so I'm probably going to have to pull the starter out. I don't know. We'll see. But let's just get to that and see what that does. All right. So we got a lot going on here. So what you would do in this situation, which is what I'm going to do after I just at least make sure this pops off, is I'm going to completely strip this wiring. I'm going to take all this out and start from the very beginning, and I'll reroute everything, make everything pretty. It doesn't have exhaust. So, I mean, that's kind of good right now, because I'm most likely going to take this passenger side header off. That way I can run these main power wires. Where are we going? Oh. Okay, yeah. We'll get there. You know what? Yeah, we'll get there. Let's just hook this bad boy up, make sure it pops off, and then we'll go from there. But I mean, it's really nice, to be honest with you. It's actually probably a nicer done swap in person than what it looks like on video. But this is it. This is a perfect example of you watching my videos, getting your ass outside. Or it may be your project cars in your living room. Maybe you're just rich like that. It must be nice. But either way, well, what am I doing this for? Either way, getting it done is what I'm saying. Okay, let's... where is cam? Plug the cam in. Crank. Okay, crank. Cam. Crank. Where are you going? Cam sensor's up here. Sorry, excuse me. Scooch on through. There we go. Come on, bitch. So, you guys come here often? Oh, me? No, yeah. I mean, yeah, I'm in and out. Been here quite a few times. You know, it's nothing new. That thing was juicy. Just come back. And keep an eye out. Chill. I'm young, bro. I'm not a... And she was of age, for sure. She was easily between 18 and 50. Legal. That didn't sound right, did it? Anyways, back to car stuff. So... torque on there? So yeah, gotta take the starter off to get to that crank sensor. And this is one of the, so. Are you there? Okay. You all right there? I have no idea how this looks. Hopefully it looks all right. But these are the Shorty S10 headers. And if you remember from the Monte Carlo, we put these in there. Long story short, had to take the Tanya Harding and treat this header like it was a leg on an ice skating rink in 1986 Winter Olympics and beat shit out of it. And I'm going to have to do it to this one because I can see the wires touching. But that's not too big of a deal because I already plan on taking this header out anyways. But we should at least get this, or I'll just to get this started off, and I want to get that conversion box hooked up. Golly. That's not good. Okay. All right, I'm gonna have to get the earthquake machine. You're making me do it. I'm gonna do it. Gonna do it. All right. Earthquake engaged. I hope that's not stripped. I hope he didn't strip it when he put it in. Okay, we're good. Whew. I did not want to be the one to have to mess with that bolt hole if it was stripped. Okay, crank sensor. Where? Shoe back? Nope, not yet. Baby, come back. Now you're thinking, Anthony, you have a wife. She got a big old booty too. Her dad's probably watching this. Anyways. Crank. Well. Come on. We're on the same team here. Oh, brother. Okay, so we've ran into our first issue. The crank sensors are different from Gen 3 and Gen 4. And I'll have to show you. Oh, you can turn it this way. Okay, I have to pull this crank sensor out and show you. Is she back? All right, let me show you this right quick right here. So, I had an issue with plugging this in to the crank sensor spot, crank in, because Gen 4 and Gen 3 have different crank sensors. Gen 3 is black, Gen 4 is gray. Now you're like, why? What's the difference? It is very, very simple. You see that slit right there in between those two prongs on the left side, on the bottom? Not that one, not your mom's, that one. So look, this one's over here to the left, this one's over here to the right. This one wouldn't go in because it plugs in this way. So slit is right there to the left on the black one, slit is right here on top right. So that's not gonna ching ching. But look at the gray one. Where is it? Right where we need it. And another thing this tells me is, let's see over here. Oh, that one's black. Okay. Is this one? So that one's gray. So if I needed to, if I didn't have this one, I could have just pulled the one out of that one. But I couldn't have pulled the one out of that one because it's black. So you got black and gray. Gray Gen 4, and if that prong is on the right, or that plastic piece is on the right, Gen 4. Gen 3, black, plastic piece sticking out is on the left. So I'm gonna swap this out real quick and continue what we were doing. Okay, I got that crank sensor done. So now we're just gonna rig up positive wire and the negative wire. I'm just gonna run them straight to the battery because right now I have no idea where I'm gonna do key on power, key on, or cranking power, blah blah blah. So let's go positive. Put you right in. Maybe. No, I probably could just put you right here. Yeah. So there's a relay right here. Put you right here. Let's see what she does. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, where's negative? Put you. Hold on, let's make sure nothing's about to burn down. Okay, fans are coming on. Turn the key on. It's supposed to, so it's got power, but I need it to turn green. Let's see, you turn the key on this. No. Let's turn the key, see what it does. Well, the battery's pretty weak, and I'm hearing a spark sound. Not too worried about that right now. So the weak battery might just be causing an issue, but that's also not turning green like it's supposed to. So let me read some more instructions and then hopefully we figure it out. Okay, so 45 minutes later, I have the Lingenfelter box hooked up. You have to hook it up directly to the cam sensor, sensor that's in the front timing cover, not the little extension piece. It has to go directly to the sensor. And I got it wired up. Let me hook the battery charger up. Got the battery hooked up. See if she does anything. The fuck? So 76 minutes later, I changed the crank sensor, still no spark. So next step is to dig into the ECU and see if VATS was turned off, but usually VATS, from what I've heard, will at least let it run for a couple seconds, then shut it off. I'm not getting any spark. I've taken the small wire from the fuse block and I run it to a bunch of different places, getting power while cranking, and still no spark. So gonna have to see what the ECU is telling me. I can't tell. Yeah. Okay. So I need to close you. And then I need to read you. Okay, guess we'll come back when it gets there. me do this. Okay, so instead of digging into the computer that came with this, I just put in a computer from the CUDA that's I already know good to go because I used it for 2.5 years. What did I say? I changed the crank sensor twice. I am still not getting spark. I have the small fuse wire from the fuse blunt going directly to the battery, and then I have that hooked up to a battery charger, so I should be getting enough voltage to power the crank sensor for me to get spark. I'm assuming my issue might be this box, but I have it hooked up exactly how it's supposed to be hooked up. And so earlier I mentioned that this needed to turn green. I don't know if you can see this, but there's a red light on the box. As you crank over, it turns green, and that lets you know that you're getting the signals you're supposed to be from the cam and crank sensor. And that's doing what it's supposed to. So I don't understand why I'm not getting spark. It could be another bad crank sensor. It could be a weak battery, but I've checked that a couple times and it's perfectly fine. But I think I know what I gotta do next if I don't get spark on this turn of the key. I have all of these unplugged, and I can usually see spark come down and touch the coil pack bolt that bolts it to the coil pack bracket. Last I checked, which was about a minute ago, none of these are getting spark over here. The ground wire is hooked up over here on the back of the head like it's supposed to from the harness. So, let's see. No, I am not getting. I'm hearing a sparking sound, but it's not coming from the coil packs. So what I'm gonna have to do is take out all of this wiring and just start over. So I was planning on doing that anyways. I just didn't want to do it before hearing the engine run because I didn't want to make everything all nice and pretty and ready to go in case I have to pull the engine out for something, because maybe the cam wasn't put in correctly and the cam gear and the crank sprocket dots weren't lined up correctly. I don't know. This was brought to me like this with the cam already in it. It has the same exact cam in it that I put in the Monte Carlo that just left. But I'm assuming something's going on with that conversion box or the small red wire coming from the harness, because it's not the ECU, because I know that's good now. I'm just not getting spark. So I will see you guys on the next video where I want to blow my brains out more than I do now. I undercharged this so badly. Oh, my back hurts. You know, that girl never came back by. I think it's time to go walk my dogs. Anyways, appreciate you watching. I was really hoping this video would be me getting it running and then I could move on to everything else, but as it goes here, it is just not that simple. It's an absolute. This is what we got going on. I'm just taking all this out and starting over, making sure I got my power wires correct, which it wasn't bad to begin with. You know, he just had a rough draft, which is perfectly fine. I do it too, like I mentioned at the beginning of this video. It's just where I'm at now with all the diagnosing I need to do. I need to just start from the very beginning. So I'm going to unhook absolutely everything, and I'm just going to make it all pretty to begin with, and then we will try to get it running. Then you saw the fire in the throttle body. That's not a good sign. It's backfiring. I mean, and then you also saw it like your mom out of the tube back there, which is the vacuum. It's a vacuum port to go to the brake booster. I really hope that cam was installed correctly, because I do not want to have to, well, I'm sure the customer doesn't want me to have to pull the entire engine out and tear it down and see what's going on, but that's not a good sign. Timing is way off. I wonder if it's something with that box. It's got to be something with that box. But we will get to that in the next video. But appreciate you watching. Go buy a shirt, a sticker. Gotta like. I need you to like and subscribe. I hate to be one of those guys, but liking, subscribing, watching, commenting, all that puts me in the algorithm where people watch it. You see some ads. Those ads pay me not much. I make a little bit of change, so I don't have to keep doing that strange. I kind of like it though. But appreciate you watching. Go buy some stuff. Go watch old videos, whatever. But I'll see y'all on part 2, unfortunately. Go build something.